and style, and this is class 5. And I'm going to ask Sean if you'll open us up in prayer.
Heavenly Father, Lord, just want to ask you to be with us tonight, or we'd be able to focus and learn. I just ask you allow us to absorb what information we're going to be hearing and this thing.
All right, so I went over a lot of your work, your homework, and you all are doing really amazing with the setting up with MLA style, so I'm really happy with that. And your outlines looked good. Just remember, some of you were wanting to center the outline. Don't center it. It's going to be all aligned to the left. Okay, so make sure you align it all up. And then one other thing I just want to say about outlines. So let's say like we have our introduction here. Okay, and let's say this is Roman numeral 1. You start with a capital A and look, it's indented. So make sure that capital A is indented, whatever you're going to write here. And then if you have a 1 and a 2, they have to be indented as well. And then when you go, and then of course your B and 1 and 2. But then when you're going to go back to your 2, it goes back right under where that 1 is. And then again, your A's and B's will be lined up, your 1s and 2s will be lined up. So just make sure you're careful about that when you're doing it on the computer. Okay, and then another thing I wanted to go over was about how to, how you will cite the Bible. Now you can write it this way, Holy Bible, but if you just put Bible, that's fine as well. But you need to start it, and I think you had, what was the name of one of your Bibles? It was the Children or Illustrated Bible?
Illustrated King James.
Yes, that's perfectly fine as well. So whatever the name of your Bible is, or if you just want to put Bible, that's fine as well. Just remember, whatever this first letter is, that's how you're going to alphabetize it. So if you start with Bible, of course, it will be alphabetized with A, B, and etc. But if you start with this, and then he started with I for illustrated, so that will go that way. Okay, and then you put a period right after it. So this is your bibliography. This is not every quote or every verse that you're going to use in your paper. This is just showing me this is one of my sources. This is what I use. So after that, you will put KJV, or you can put King James Version. Either way is fine. And then you need a period. Right here will be the editor. If you can't find the editor, then you can skip that. But you're not writing the name of any of the authors of the books that you used. You're just writing the editor as you look in the front cover and you find the editor. And then you put a period. If it's not there, just skip it and go on to the city and publisher. Maybe it doesn't have the city where it was published. So then just skip over that and just start with publisher. And then, or maybe vice versa. But just after that, between city and publisher, there should be a comma, and then a comma between the publisher and the date. And then again, if you're using it online, it should say something like online King James Bible. And then in that case, you're going to probably put the access date. I'm sorry.
I just had a question about the date. Is it the date it was published?
Yes.
Edition? Okay.
Yes. The only time you really use the access date is if you're doing online.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so any questions about how to cite the Bible? No? Okay, very good. All right, and note cards were due today, so very good for those of you who passed those in. Good job, you're doing great on those. And then if you haven't gotten your theses, I need that tonight by midnight. And the reason I need that is because by Sunday, I need your introduction to your paper. And it has to be one full page in MLA style, just the same way we've been doing it in MLA style. And it'll be one full page, and it must have your thesis sentence on there. Now, it can be 1.5 pages. I would say don't go longer than 2 pages for your introduction, but if you feel like you need those full 2 pages, that's fine. But make sure that you have your thesis sentence, and it should be near the end or the very last sentence for your thesis sentence. All right, and then also for our next class, I want you to read pages 58 to 72. All right, any questions about homework or any of that? Yes.
When did you ask for the thesis initially?
It was probably, I was trying to think, it was either the second or the third class, but you are all up to date. You have
Oh,
everything in.
I
Yes.
didn't know if I missed anything.
No. No, if I saw you missing something, I tried to write an email personally to those who were missing things. I think I did send you an email, or maybe I didn't, but I meant to, that said you were all up to date.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So if I didn't speak to you, that means you're all up to date on everything. Okay, and hopefully you are ready today for pages 44 to 57. We will take that quiz at the end. And then, like I said, next class, we'll have a quiz over pages 58 to 72. All right, I think the first thing we should do is go over some of our notes from last week. I believe we might have ended at number 15, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's go to number 15. So as we begin to write our research paper, we should not expect that the first draft will be our finished, complete copy. And let me laugh at this, because many of the students in my last class tried to do this. You all are doing very well. You are giving me those assignments every week. Some people put assignment off, introduction off, put the first paragraph off. Pretty soon they came to where they had to write the whole thing all at once and thought that that first copy was just all they had to do. But that's not how this class works. I want you to write it so that we can see where you might need to improve a little bit, and that'll help you, because at the end of the semester, you will be studying for that final, and you don't want to be writing at midnight when you want to be studying. So, so just make sure you understand that. So your first draft, and understand that for all of our assignments, don't feel bad if I make corrections. It's just to help you, so that really at the end of this class, it'll be so easy. If you make the corrections now, the end of the class will be really simple. All right, and then when you begin to write, you should keep your outline nearby. This will help you so that you can stay as close to the outline as possible. There's all your ideas right in front of you, and that will help you. All right, and then choppy sentences are very annoying for the reader, and they make your paper hard to read. By choppy sentences, I mean, she went to the store, she bought bananas, she went home. I would rather that you make a nice long sentence that is just flowing, rather than just these short choppy sentences. They're harder for the reader to read. And then rather than writing simple sentences, you can use a comma and a coordinating conjunction. Tell me a coordinating conjunction, Sean.
And.
Good. What's another one?
Shoot, I'm sorry, I can't think right now.
What do you think, Pierce?
But.
Yes, but is another one. Can you think of any other ones? Yes.
Or.
Good. Or is another one.
Yet.
Yet. That's a good one. Yes.
Nor.
Good. All of those are very good. Neither. You can use any of those. Those are very good. All right. So you want to use a comma and a coordinating conjunction. And this will create compound sentences, which I saw how well that Pierce knows compound sentences on his last test he took for English. Good job. All right, so you want to make those compound sentences. They're easier for the reader to read. And then style is important when you're writing your research paper. When you are convincing someone of your viewpoint, it's way more understandable if you can paint a picture with your words. So that's very, very important. All right, are there any questions then on the notes from our last class? All right, let's get into today's notes then. All right, so we've already gone over how to do the Bible. You might want to write that example down to help you if you don't already know how to do that. All right, and although your outline is basically for your benefit when you're writing the paper, I do want you to still hand in your final outline when you hand in your research paper in May. I would like that to be handed in. Now, normally it's not part of the research paper, and probably for your other classes, your professors are not going to ask you for the outline. But for this class, I just want to see that you know what you're doing and you know how to do an outline, because it's really for your benefit and it'll help you for your other classes. So that's why when I told you to number your pages, when you write your last name, and then you have your page numbers. So that will be your very last page. The second to last page will be your works cited page, but then the outline will be your very last page. Okay, good. All right, and so keep that in mind as you make your corrections on your outline, that this will help you when you pass that in. And then make sure you save it on your computer. That'll be one less thing for you to do when you submit your final draft. Also, I want you to place your thesis statement, as I said, in your introductory paragraph. So when you are writing that this week, make sure you put your theses in your introductory paragraph. And then again, be careful to use MLA style. I'm really happy you all seem to know what you're doing with that. Again, if you've forgotten how to do that, you can go back and look at the videos and refresh yourself. And then remember about the date and how you will do the date. Let's see. So when we're going to do what comes first, the day, month, or year, what will come first? Justin.
Day.
Yep, that's right. And we write it like a number. And then what comes next? Isaiah?
The month.
Yes. All right. And then the last thing, Ethan.
Year.
Yes. So then that's how you will, when you are doing MLA style, that's how you will do that. All right. And then last week we talked a little bit about plagiarism. I think it was on your quiz. And the question was a little bit tricky to read, but what it was trying to say is that you can get absent-minded when you're doing things. Like you're reading through a book, and if you just absent-mindedly write everything down you see in the book or in an encyclopedia, not realizing, hey, this isn't really my words, but you wrote it all down on your note card, and then you just write it into your paper that way. And then I think it's your writing, but then I find out it's not your writing. That would be plagiarism. So you can absent-mindedly do that. So that's why you need to be careful that if you're writing something directly from the book, give, what do I want to say?
Citation.
Yes, make sure you make a citation of who said it. Very good, or who wrote it. All right. So if it's unintentional, such as writing down word for word what is written in the encyclopedia, it's still intellectual theft according to the MLA handbook. And when we want to use someone else's ideas, it's important that we reference the author. So just make sure you do that. All right. Okay, and then we have a little example here. As Wendy Martin has suggested, Emily Dickinson strongly believed that we cannot understand life fully unless we also comprehend death. Okay, so this is the actual citation in your paper. This is not what we do on the bibliography. Or on the works cited page. We already learned how to do that. This is how you do it in your paper. So what you will do is, as she says here, she's giving reference to the person, but she's also giving reference to who said it. And then at the end of it, she has in parentheses the page number. Now, you will already have in your bibliography this source. So that's why you don't have to write the name of the source here. You just have to write the page number. Does that make sense to everyone?
You're saying put the page number next to the, what you cited?
If it's like, yeah, if it came directly from that book, yes. Just put the page number where it came from. Okay? And then we also discussed the proper way to make an outline. So a good working outline will make it easier to keep track of the important aspects of your subject. It keeps us organized. It keeps us on track. And like a map, it keeps us going in the right direction. So y'all want to go in the right direction. Don't want to get off track. All right. Of the following, an atlas or books on style or the Webster's 1828 dictionary, which one do you think I would choose as the most essential tool? Pierce?
Webster's.
Yes, you're right. The Webster's dictionary. Very good. And my favorite reference material, however, what do you think that is? Isaiah,
Your favorite what?
reference material.
The Bible.
Yes, very good. All right. Now, spelling is also important when we're writing our paper. If you have spelling errors, it could distract the reader because he's focused on your mistakes, or it could even completely confuse him. So it's very important that you use spell checker or have your dictionary handy for words that you might have trouble spelling. However, if you're taking a correct quote, a direct quote from a source, even if it is spelled differently than what is accepted today, it's important that you don't make changes to the quote. So we want to have good spelling, consistent spelling throughout our paper, but if it's a direct quote, just leave the spelling as it is in the direct quote. So yes. Yeah, so I substituted for a little bit in a few public school classrooms, and it was very interesting because it was during the time when they were pushing this Common Core, and they had kids writing words just how it sounded to them, not the correct way, and it drove me crazy because I, as an aide, had to look those papers over and try to figure out what they were trying to say, and it was very, very difficult. So it's important that you use the phonetical guidelines. They didn't use those. Things such as I before E, except after C, all of those spelling rules, they're very important because it's very important that you know the correct way to spell things. You can just imagine how hard it was for me to read those stories. It was just very difficult. And for them, it wasn't just the occasional word that was misspelled, but many words throughout the different papers. And it just was, I think it was chaos. And I think God is a God of order. And that's why I think it's very important that we keep our papers orderly and use proper spelling. And there's also a reason why we have dictionaries. If we all spelled words differently, there would be no consistency. I think it would be chaotic, no understanding. So it's important that we spell things correctly. So despite what different educators may popularize for the moment, a common use of language and spelling is important if we are to effectively communicate our ideas one to another. So I think that's very important. Correct spelling will be expected as you write your research paper. So I do take points off for spelling. If you're unsure of a word or the spell checker on your computer is not working properly, I encourage you to use a dictionary. If you think of a word, and you know the meaning that you're trying to convey, but you can't think of a word, you can use another source. Do you know what that is, Ethan? The other source you can use if you know the meaning, but you don't know the word. Okay, you could use that. What is it? Yes, the thesaurus. Very good. Good. And so there has to be consistency throughout the research paper in the use of spelling words, but there also has to be consistency in the way you use hyphens and the way you divide your words. So you need to look that also up in the dictionary if your computer doesn't automatically do it and you are dividing words. And also when you're using hyphens, make sure that you are consistent with the way it is in the dictionary. Again, when you are unsure of spelling, use the Webster's 1828. And then remember, when you're using direct quotations, you must use the original spelling, as we said before, even if it's different than the dictionary. All right, dividing words should be easily done in word processing programs. They usually divide that for you automatically. But if you have to divide a word, try not to divide words at the end of lines, if at all possible. And then if you have any questions about the division of words, again, the dictionary is your best option. All right, let's go on to foreign words. So it's important to write a word exactly as it is written in that language. And I know a lot of computers can put those accent marks in for you. So if you can at all possible, use those as well. If not, you can always handwrite them if it's not available on your computer, but I think most times you can find it on the computer. Now, in the use of foreign names, each language has some differences. Yes, Ryan?
I am so sorry.
No, it's fine.
Did we, which question are we on? And
You know, I don't have the same note page that you have.
Oh, that's why everything's all over the place.
Oh,
I was curious.
okay.
I was looking for number 10, God is a God of
See,
blank
but
order.
I'm teaching you how to research, so you're.
Exactly.
Words.
This is now an interview. Ethan, all that? No.
Everybody else has
President first used the word, you're at 16, I'm also at like a 16, so you're good.
Okay, any questions? Did you miss any blanks?
I missed 13.
Okay, what was the question on 13?
There should be consistency.
There is
There should be consistency is.
In, I
That
think,
should
Yeah, I
be.
think it's supposed to be in.
Sorry.
Yeah, there should be consistency in blank, and word blank.
She's giving you an example of why it's important to spell your words properly.
some people
Or use the right words, actually, not even.
So there should be consistency in the spelling, the hyphenation, and the word division.
Spelling, word hyphenation, and word spelling.
Word division and hyphenation, yes.
Ah.
Any other questions?
I'm not gonna ask the same question. Just ask him for his paper.
Okay.
And then what was 11? A common use of language and blank is important if we are to effectively communicate our ideas to one another.
Spelling.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right, and if you need specifics on how to use foreign names, you can look in the MLA handbook. I believe it was in section 2.8, so that'll show you what to do. We're not going to go over all the different uses for foreign names today, but you might want to familiarize yourself with some of the specific rules if this will apply, which it probably will apply to yours. All right, let's talk a little bit about taking your notes. All right, so we already did the bibliography cards, yes.
This might be a stupid question because I think I might already know the answer, but I'm not sure with MLA style.
Okay.
When it is a foreign name, do you want me to use the original alphabet of the language and then the English version of the name in hyphens? Or what?
I don't know, because it's
I would-
Japanese.
The book. Yeah,
I would say no, because
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
gonna reference something from that country.
yeah.
So it's gonna mean
Yes.
something different.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Because, like, let's say the word sakura. You have the Japanese spelling of sakura and then SAKURA, you know? So,
Okay,
do you get what I'm saying?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so.
Well, that would
right.
be for.
Okay. Yes, I guess I was thinking Chinese, like I didn't want you to paint things on your paper. But yes, probably do it like you said, the original way and then in parentheses.
The English way.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Sounds good.
You're right, people participate.
No, it's a good.
Wow.
All right, so you know how to do bibliography cards. Now you are going to be writing your note cards. So on the bibliography card, you know you want to put your information on the card just as it appeared on the works cited page, and I saw all of you were doing that. Very good. Just a little bit of review. So for a book, you're going to start on the left and go to the right, and you will start by putting, what name goes first of the author? Sean, last name. Then what comes next, Isaiah?
His first name.
Good. And what comes after first name before you start for the next thing, Ryan? So you're writing last name, first name. What happens at the end of the first name? Yes, put a period. Then what comes next? Ethan?
Number 18 gives you a hint.
The title, or is it the name of
The title of the book. Yes. So it's the title of the book. We're doing a book right now. It's a little different for magazines or newspaper articles. But for a book, you write the title of the book. What goes at the end of that? Here?
Publishing information.
Before that, though.
Oh,
The question.
period.
Yes.
Haha.
All right, the period, and then the publishing information. After publishing information, Sean, what kind of punctuation mark?
It's a comma.
Yes, very good. And then after that, what comes next? Justin.
18 gives you a hint.
Anchors.
I was helping him.
Let the teacher teach.
She doesn't have the same page that we do.
Yes, the date.
Okay.
Put the date. And after the date, Ryan, what comes after the date?
It would be the page or the period.
The period, good. And then you're right, page is next. Tell me how you would write page 78, Isaiah. 2 P's or 1?
Just one.
Good. And then what comes after that?
Yeah, period.
Yes. And then you'd write the page number. And what goes at the end, Isaiah?
Another period.
Yes, very good. So for other types of reference materials, you may refer to the Works Cited Helps page that I gave you. I think Joanna printed one out as well. So you can refer to that, and that'll show you how to do a magazine article, how to do all the different kinds of works. All right, and then write each type of reference on a separate card in the same fashion that you would the information on the Works Cited page. So for note cards, you'll put the topic in the left-hand top corner. So when you're writing them out, it is better to do it this way. Now, some of you, okay, you just showed me your bibliography card. So this is a little different. This is for note card. For note card, up here, you want to put the topic. The reason is you are going to arrange all those certain topics together so that when you go to write your paper, you can have them all in order and know, okay, all of these go in my first paragraph, all these go in my last paragraph. So that's why you want to put the topic right there. Let's see. Is that right?
So do we need
Left.
to read?
I'm sorry. Did I say right?
No, you said left. That's why I was confused when you put it on the right.
Okay. I do teach the kindergartners what right and left is. All right, so left, yeah, that's where you will put your topic. Very good. And then you'll indicate your source in the top right corner. So this is your topic, and this side will be your source. Okay. And then, let's see. And then you're going to write your note, of course. And then in the right-hand bottom corner, put the page number, such as page 6. Okay, right here, you're writing your note. And then in the bottom corner, page 6. If your note is too long and doesn't fit on that particular card, then you'll need to use a second card. And what I would suggest is to somehow let yourself know this is 1, and then on the other card, make a 2, so that.
Would stapling them together be?
That's a good idea as well. Yes, you could do that. That would be fine. Yes. Okay.
What's the bottom left?
Okay, so
Sorry.
really, there's usually nothing there. I was just saying, if you had two cards, you could put a number so you know there's a second card that goes with it. But like he said, if you want to staple it, you don't need anything there. You could just staple them together and that should be fine as well. All right. And then you may also type your notes into the computer. And remember, your style will be just like this as much as possible. So when you are doing I haven't tried it myself. I only did it for the bibliography, but you can play around with it, see if you can get it to put the topic and then the source and then the page number in the right bottom corner and see if you can get it to do that. If you can't get it to do that and you want to just on one side put the topic and source and page number, and then on the second side put your note, that's fine as well. But try to keep it as close to this as you possibly can. Let's see. Okay, and let's see. Okay, so, and then your note is in the center of the page, and as with the note cards, the page number will be typed in the right bottom. All right, and then if you want to make your note card file on the computer, a lot of you have already done that, but there's also other programs on Google Docs, and I have some information how you could do that. Press the plus sign on the bottom of the screen, then you press new document. A new document will come up. You can name your document, probably using your topic name for one of your paragraphs, and then press create. And you can type your note card as described in class. And you can save your document and later file them in the order you want them. So if you want to do it that way, you may as well. All right, and whether you use the note cards, whatever program you use, just make sure you always have that outline close by so you can file your notes according to which paragraph.
Do you want us to redo them?
No, those are perfect because those are bibliography cards.
Okay.
They're different than the note cards. I'm sorry, did I confuse you? Those are perfect. Don't do anything different. Those are great. But the note cards should be this way. We haven't made note cards yet. So, which I forgot that too. So you're doing your intro, but I also need 5 note cards. Okay. And that's also by Sunday. So, or if you want to show it to me in class, that's fine. Because it might be hard to send them to me. So, you can show them to me in class.
So you said 5 note cards by Sunday?
By Tuesday.
Tuesday.
It'll be easier for me to just look at them in class.
That's good.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So, which I'm being nice to you because in the past I said 10 note cards, but I'm going to give you all 5.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. And then, and again, you can handwrite them or you can do it on the program. That's fine. All right. And then, I'd like you to also, be working on your introduction and reading those pages. And then again, I believe you know how to do the bibliography cards. So are there any questions about that? Do you need to fill in any blanks about bibliography cards? Okay, then I think we can go on then. And can someone tell me what time it is?
It's 6:37.
6:37. I had
Okay.
it first.
So we have
We have 7 minutes, or 8 minutes.
8 minutes, okay. All right, so the third line, well, we already went over that, I believe we did. Yeah, we already went over how to do a book. Do you have blanks on there, how to do the book, or did we already do that?
We went over the both of the
Okay, I
Yeah.
thought we did.
We have a
Okay.
whole page of blanks.
Do we need to have time for our quiz?
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Okay. All right, so just tell me what number we ended on.
27
27.
y'all are, what, seven?
or 26.
26.
We're at 26.
All right, so we'll start on 27 next. All right, very good. Let me just see. Just something just to quickly go over because it may be on your quiz or it may be on next week's quiz. Just remember about commas. They're used to separate clauses. But if you have many items, then you are going to want to use semicolons. So for instance, we have traveled from Oklahoma to Columbus, Ohio. You're naming different places. So you're saying Columbus, Ohio, but now you're going to name another place. You don't put a comma here, you put a semicolon. Because now you're going to say Tampa, Florida. And between Tampa and Florida, you will have that. But then after Florida, another semicolon as you list something else. So just remember that. Usually we just do commas between items, but things like Columbus, Ohio, we want to use semicolons to separate those. And then remember about using, let's see, certain things like an A-line skirt. You don't just write A-line, you need that hyphen in there. So there are going to be certain words that you will need those hyphens to set it apart. Even something like saying he was a city dweller, that also, something like that would have a hyphen. Let me see. What else is that you might need to know? Okay, so we didn't go over this as well, but another thing we're going to go over next week is about using parentheses and then using brackets. So when you have a parenthesis and then you want to put something else in that, you weren't able to get those charts, Joanna, were you?
Yeah.
Oh, they are there? Okay, let me see if I have one. I know you all need time for your place, but. If it's something that's like, something that you want to put in another parenthesis, you don't use two parentheses, you would use brackets. I'm sure I have some examples I could read, but I think we all might get an idea with focus, I think. Okay, like this one. Okay, because I believe this sentence was already going to be like, yes, right there. So you see, I don't know if you all can see, but I asked for help with counseling, and then I have an afterthought. I went to Beth Haven Baptist Church. Okay, this is still my afterthought, but in between my afterthought, now I want to make sure I let you know the name or the initials of that church. So that I would put in the brackets around that afterthought. So does that make sense? So there, whenever you're going to have parentheses within a parentheses, you can't have two sets of parentheses. So the second set you would put the brackets. All right, that's that. And which some of this should have been in your reading. All right, I think you